Why do marriages fail? People who are madly in love for years get married, and then within a year or 2 years, they start fighting. Some of them end up with a separation or a divorce. And then there are arranged marriages where people have made sure that these two people are a perfect match. They have checked the horoscope, they have checked the educational qualification, they have checked the height of each of these people, and in spite of checking everything, marriages fail. Why does this happen? Some people might say that the young generation, but what I'm going to look at today are the two basic reasons why marriages fail. Continue to watch this video. Hi, Valerian here. I teach relationship science to transform marriages. Let us jump into this video and understand the two reasons. The first reason is the marriages fail because of the myths. The second reason, the why the marriages fail, is because of the rescuers. So let us start with the myths first, and then we'll talk about the rescuers who ruin a marriage. So there are three myths. There are many of them, but I'm going to talk about three myths. The first myth that ruins a marriage is good people make good marriages. That is the belief. That is a myth that ruins marriages. People often say that today there are more separations and divorces because people are not committed, which is not true. The reason why there were few divorces and separations in the past, not because people were happy in their marriage, it was because women could not get out of the marriage. In other words, in the past, there were three things that kept a woman in the marriage, even when she was not happy, even the husband and wife were fighting. What are those three reasons? The first one was the society, and along with that was the religion, which stopped a woman from leaving. The second one is, of course, children. And the third one is economic dependence on the husband. And the society and religion also stopped a man from getting out of the marriage, even though it was horrible. And why does the marriage become horrible? Is it because of that people marry wrong people? The answer is no. It becomes horrible. And before I talk about it, let's talk about the myth first. The myth is good people make good marriages. So people always look for somebody good. And once the marriage is over, suddenly that good person becomes bad. How does this happen? The reason is a marriage is supposed to go through three stages. If you're my student, you would know this: romance stage, power struggle stage, and mature love stage. And 7 out of 10 marriages never cross the power struggle stage. And in power struggle stage, the worst in us comes out. Worst in us comes out. And just because we have married somebody thinking that good people make good marriages, we have not learned anything. And this is the most stupid thing to believe. It is something like, do good people make good doctors? Of course, the answer is not. Being good is a prerequisite. And just because the person is good doesn't mean that he qualifies to be a doctor. In order to become a doctor, he has to go through certain amount of studies. So just because you're a good person does not qualify you to be a good husband. And if you're not a good husband, your wife is just your reflection. And the same applies for the spouse. So the first myth is good people make good marriages, so I don't have to learn anything. The second reason and the second myth is if there is love. The first myth is good people, so the person I'm married is bad, so end up with a separation or a divorce. The second one is if there is love, there's no love between us, so our marriage is going to end. But the truth is, there is a phase in your marriage where there is not going to be any love. And when there is no love, do you have the skills? Do you have the mindset? Do you know exactly what you need to do to get out of that phase where there is no love and move to mature love stage? The answer is, of course, not. Because this kind of science is not taught in any school. And if you are somebody who wants to learn this science, then I invite you to attend one of my master classes. In this master class, I'm going to talk about the three stages. I'm also going to teach you the science behind relationships in marriage. So here you'll see the link out here which says coachval.co. Please go to this link, sign up for this masterclass, and I'll see you there. Now, the third reason why, the third myth about marriages is that fights and arguments are normal. Now, in the past, people fought and fought and fought and fought, and they just couldn't leave each other because of the reasons I told you. But today, those three reasons which will stop somebody from leaving are not there. So if you're fighting, if you're arguing, there is a distance between you and your spouse, and there is nothing in the world which will keep you together. So what you need to know is to understand the science behind fights. You got to understand the science behind arguments so that your every conversation doesn't end up with a fight or an argument. It actually brings you closer. So the first thing are the three myths that ruin a marriage. And the second one is the rescuers. Who are rescuers? Rescuers are the people who are very close to us, our friends, our relatives. So let me explain this concept a little more. You would have heard me talking about drama triangle. Let me explain. If you have not heard me, let me explain it very quickly. You get married, you start with the romance stage. No matter who you get married, how many times you get married, whether it is arranged marriage, love marriage, no matter whatever permutation combination you use, your romance stage is going to end and you get into power struggle stage. In the power struggle stage, you feel that your wife doesn't love you, doesn't take care of you, doesn't understand you, and all that happens in your mind, and you feel that you are a victim. And you look at your spouse as a victimizer. What does your spouse do? She looks at herself as a victim and she looks at you as a victimizer. And this is a natural process. And when this happens, you look for rescuers and she looks for rescuers. So, who are the rescuers? Your rescuers could be your friends, your relatives, your parents, and her rescuers will be the same. And when you go to these rescuers, they give you the stupid ideas in the world. Many a times these rescuers themselves are stuck in power struggle stage. Many a times these rescuers are fighting every day with their spouse. They are they have this negative thought about marriage, negative thinking about the spouse. They're not experts. And because they're not experts, they give you ideas that only ruin your marriage. And these are the two biggest reasons, and there are a lot many reasons, but I just focused on these two. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to reflect on all the learnings that you had about marriage unconsciously as you were growing up, and write in the write in the comment section whether whatever I've shared makes sense to you. What's the one thing that you have learned? If you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead, subscribe to this channel. Click on that bell icon so that every week when I put up a video, you get the notification first. And if you have liked this video so far, click on the like button. So that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, as always, keep your love story alive. Bye-bye.